No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Guys, I gotta tell you, I don't feel like saying welcome to the Perfect Parlay Pursuit today. I feel like saying, first, let me say, Alex, we're live on YouTube. We're not pre-recording this. We're live on YouTube. And guys, we have a lot to talk about. Not just with the UFC, not just with the results of the gambling effort last weekend or the results of the fight or even my lovely weekend and what I did. We have a lot to talk about in terms of whether or not I'm going to do this show, ? But then also whether or not I'm going to continue with a lot of things in my life, gambling on the UFC being one of them. If you're not at least examining it, if you're not at least considering the possibility over these last 48 to 72 hours of not continuing with this pursuit, not continuing with this endeavor, then I don't think you're living an examined life worth living. I think we all need to take a moment and think. It's been a roller coaster of emotions and thoughts for me all weekend, from feeling like, wow, I am the worst sports bettor of all time. I don't actually know shit about shit. And not only that, I'm irresponsible. I'm a drunkard. I'm a fool. I'm a degenerate. And I failed. In other nights where I've felt like I'm the smartest guy in the world, none of those matter at all to me. In this moment, I am done. I am Scadaboo with his broken ankle. I'm Tua with his locked up hands. I'm fucking Tyreek Hill with his backwards ass leg. I am every one of those guys at about 11 p.m. Saturday night. I was every one of those guys. I was a willing athlete who came into the game and unfortunately might not be able to play anymore. That was me on Saturday night with and that's just in terms of how I felt with the decisions I made, the money I bet, and the results of those bets. That's how I felt. I felt equivalent to an NFL player who, and I've always said this on the show, I don't play for money. I only play to keep playing. I don't care about the money. The money is just a measurement tool for if my wife, my family, my mother, and God will respect and allow me to play. But other than that, the money means nothing. But I lost so much money on Saturday night that I, A, had to start questioning my own decision-making and my own self-control. B, had to evaluate whether or not I even want to play in the next game, or if it's worth it to take another risk, to risk another injury. It could be a career ender, it could be a life ender. Alex, how was your Saturday night?
It was interesting. It was a very interesting card, to say the least. A lot going on with it. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the allegations going around. Cash Patel, save me. Cash Patel, please save me. Please, for the love of God, find some way that I'm owed money somehow by DK. If that would be the greatest revelation of my life. If Cash Patel can save me the thousands of dollars that I've lost over the past, 7 years, the last 7 years of sports gambling, and Cash.
I think Drake would. I think you'd have a better chance of waiting for Drake to come rescue you, or Steve will do it, than you do Cash Patel. I hate to break it to you, but my faith in the FBI and the United States. But listen, let me say this. So I remember I actually went out with my father-in-law on Saturday night. I didn't expect to, but last minute invite. I ended up attending, basically like a charity blackjack poker casino night. And so I'm literally playing casino games, blackjack for $1 and $2 hands, where, Alex, it's a charity game, so the house has to win some money. Like, you know what I mean? But it was like a tie goes to the dealer. So like if you have 18 and the dealer has 18, it doesn't push. He gets that hand, right? So it makes it a little harder, right? But you don't mind losing because you're playing $1 and $2 hands. But when you're doing that, and then as you're playing a stacked deck rigged game, you see something happen. And I didn't find out about any of the allegations until, you know, day next, till day next, I think. But, you know, I'm having a good night for the most part. I have my bets in, they are placed, there are parlays rolling, and I'm getting real stiff drinks. I am drunk, guys. Like I had three high noons before I left the house. I didn't drive. I was driven. I had 3 high noons before I even got in the car. I had 4 Miller Lights before I even went upstairs. And I had 2 Tito's and soda while playing blackjack. And then this is when the fights are really kicking off. And this is when my decision-making started to be very poor. So count them up. I mean, that's 7 plus, we'll call the Tito's. They had to be doubles. They were probably triples. The girl pouring the drinks was heavy pouring these things. You know what I mean? Thinking she's doing me a favor. That I'm gonna, like, I have to be drinking on like liquids, so I'm gonna drink this fast no matter how much you put in there. You know what I mean? So I wish she just kind of diluted it more. But anyway, she fucking hits me with Tito's doubles or triples on top of the 7, you know, drinks I had already, and then so we're talking like 2, 4. I had another Miller Lite in there, so now we're talking 12 drinks. You know what I mean? And listen, I'm no lightweight, but it was quick and without a lot of food. You know what I mean? Quick and without a lot of food, 12 drinks. I'm gambling. I'm playing blackjack. The mood is around. Like, I'm playing blackjack. We're getting the World Series is on. I have a bet on the Dodgers. The World Series Game 7 is on. I'm like, yo, we are really out here, like, having fun. Like, and I got a little carried a fucking way. Like, I do this sometimes. I get a little carried away sometimes. So, you know, I believe in my destiny, and I'm like, yo, I'm out here. Like, I'm gonna fucking crush it tonight, no matter what. And when you lock in about crushing it, like, sometimes you refuse to lose, and sometimes you get taken out on a stretcher. You know what I mean? So what happened was this. Could have been a lot worse for me, but, you know, the picks that I had earnestly selected on the show, like Ruiz, Conejo Ruiz, that was the biggest idiotic thing I've ever seen. This woman does not belong in the UFC. I always forget how she looks in there. And then I see it, I go, oh, right, she's not her Tapology picture. You know what I mean? She's not her age. She's just this. Like, this is what she is. No worries there. You know, I don't really watch most of the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Phil Rowe was despicable.
Fights.
Phil Rowe was horrible. Phil Rowe got absolutely dominated.
I did watch Phil Rowe. I watched that whole fight. He's a scrub. And I watched Talita Alencar's a little bit of that fight too. But Phil Rowe's a scrub. But let me just say that, like, okay, so Durden loses, and that blows some of my parlays. Radke wins, but not by finish. But that's fine because I have Dolgarian, and then I have Daliha and Garcia. You know what I mean? So in a parlay or whatever. Actually, no, that one lost with that one I had already lost. Either way, I have some bets going. I was out in the wild, so I didn't get to update my open bet sheet like as much as I would have live. But everything I had going beforehand, it was like, all right, we're gonna hit with we got Radke, and then we got Dolgarian in this parlay. And I remember thinking after Radke, he did get the finish, sorry, in the third round. But the whole time I'm like, motherfucking Radke, I'm like getting so mad at him. Finally he gets the finish. I'm like, okay, cool. So I had some parlays going with Radke, and then the next step is Dolgarian. In my head, I'm going, man, this night is a weird night. And honestly, I'm like, once we get past Dolgarian, we're gonna hedge. We're gonna hedge on the next one. So that's what. So although the ones that I had Dolgarian in were parlays that ended up failing for other reasons anyway, I feel I'm still owed compensation because my whole night was changed around that fight. Like I was going to get to that leg, and the parlays that I had to pay out for, say, if Onama won, then I would have bet on the other side. And you had some opportunities to hedge out there. So that's why I'm like it blew me out and set me back to zero. So now I wasn't hedging. I was having to go back to my original kind of picks. You know what I mean? I wasn't put in a position like that. So I don't know, man. A lot to talk about. Let's read the comments real quick. Oh boy, I cannot wait to hear y'all's take on Dolgarian. Well, here we go. Yader Delville was a lock. I picked him on the show for a different reason. I mean, I picked him on the show. I said, what's his name? Dolgarian, he lost to Christian Rodriguez, and Christian Rodriguez sucks. Actually, we forgot he sucks. So I'm backing away from Dolgarian slowly, and I'm going with the Cuban guy. He's here for a reason. He's gonna fucking find a way to win. You know what I mean? And then I go, the day of, I start going, wait, what am I saying? This is great value on Bulgarian. He actually beat like Christian Rodriguez in that fight. Like he did really well. Like people like thought he won. I thought he won. Like, wait, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? So I go, all right. So I bet on Bulgarian, and then my own pick though was the El Problema Cubano. But anyway, Alex, so I hear a lot of people saying, I want to get your takes. I want to just throw it to you. You know, just I know you're chomping at the bit to discuss some of the fights. I mean, you mentioned Phil Rowe, Cedric Dumas. We could talk about him probably, and you can fill me in on some of these things. Cody Durden, Chuck Ratke, and then we'll get into kind of the Bulgarian controversy.
Yeah, absolutely. I told you Talentina Alencar was going to get a sub. She got a sub. That was amazing. Phil Rowe, scrub, absolute can. Or maybe this guy Suk Young Ko is good. Maybe he's just that good, but you can't be getting out wrestled like that. I agree on your Montserrat Conejo Ruiz take. She seems like a good option in the moment, but then you see her in the cage and she's just so small and she's just getting bullied in there, son. Norma Dumont.
And you also think that maybe she's going to evolve a tad from her game, like from her, like I'm going to just do a headlock throw like every time. You think that she was going to evolve from that, but she doesn't, and she's kind of young. So you're like, all right, well maybe she's got some, and she's fighting older people. So you're like, maybe she's got some room to like show a new. No, not happening. And she's taking time off. So you have like these things. You it's not about believing in her; it's about believing in her coaches.
Exactly. Norma Dumont thought she lost that fight, was happy to see her get the win. That was great. As it got closer with Cedriscus Dumas, I started thinking to myself, this other guy's going to win. He's like coming down from heavyweight or something. I wasn't privy to that information. But then D1 Dumas comes out there, takes him down, throws him in a cradle. The line moves from minus 400 Dante Johnson to plus 180 Dante Johnson. I look over at my girlfriend. I say, if I was gambling right now, I would put everything I own on Dante Johnson. Cedriscus Dumas, like the line just moved so much. This guy is going to have so much power on Cedriscus Dumas that he's bound to crack this guy's coconut eventually. And then, 3.5 minutes in, he gets up, takes Cedriscus down, I think. And then Cedriscus is just doing like weird shit, dude. I was really hoping that the Bulgarian drama would distract the UFC from getting rid of Cedriscus Dumas. Like he just cruises on by, ends up finding his way, another fight in the UFC, but he ended up getting cut too. Sad to see it. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. I'm really bummed that he's gone. Dude, he was throwing like rolling thunder kicks from bottom. Like he was like flipping at him, trying to kick him, doing spinning back elbows. Like it was like when you give your little brother the controller in the UFC game and he's just mashing buttons. Like that's cool, though. It was cool, and I wish he was still in the UFC. I'm bummed that we don't get to see another Cedriscus Dumas fight, or at least get another conversation where he's like showing up with a leg monitor on. Like that.
Listen, nobody here. I will not live in a glass house and throw stones at a woman for doing a very legal activity in being an adult entertainment dancer. I will not throw stones at that. But there is something funny, like from a Jay Leno stand-up comedy late night monologue perspective. The jokes are all right there when you have the one chick in the UFC who does have a part-time job that most people don't, and you hear her talking about what she would and wouldn't do for $1. It's just very I can't get into it, guys. I have a daughter myself. I have a wife. I have a mother, formerly single mother, now married lady. But I can't judge women, and I am a feminist, so I will not be talking. Her body, her choice, and the lack of self-awareness is other world. I can't say that. You know what I mean? I can text Alex very funny things that are way more explicit than what I just said on the show, but I can't say it. And
not on a public forum.
Look, and I don't think that taking a bribe, something illegal, is the same as being an adult entertainer, something legal, right? Legal, consensual, and rare.
Absolutely.
Is that the term? Safe, legal, and rare.
But you gotta wonder who else has been doing this, because there's a lot of questionable shit that's been going on, and there's
In the comments, guys. Come on, let's
100
start commenting.
outcomes.
We need
There's
ideas.
100
Because I have plenty of my own ideas. I just want to see what the public is thinking. Okay, like San Kao, Sassen Kao. Thank you for bringing up Vanessa Demopoulos. We're gonna get into her. We're gonna get into all the little jokesters, and we're gonna talk all about them. I mean, you had Vanessa Demopoulos, but then you also had Lando Venata, who I thought just classic Charlie Chaplin, Rodney Dangerfield comedy level right there. Like he's like, he's what he said. He goes, he posts his record. It's 12-7. He goes, I have never, except he's like, I've been offered a bribe about 7 times. My record is a testament to my integrity. It's just hilarious. And everybody who goes, like, everybody who's like all these like journalists are like, oh, no jokes right now. Like they got this hall monitor, like Sunday school teacher energy about stuff. It's hilarious. And people are rightfully calling them on their shit for being like, okay, so UFC fighters, MMA fighters commit actual crimes all the time. And we blow over that and forgive them way faster than we do people who commit certain crimes, and I, do agree with the sentiment that it does. It's because when a UFC fighter beats up his wife, or gets in a drunk driving accident, or gets into a drunk driving accident and flees the scene, or whatever example might happen. When the UFC fighter does that, or gets caught using PEDs, or gets caught using recreational drugs, or like any of these things, or all of the things in a row, you know what I mean? But when a UFC fighter does this, it doesn't actually call the whole sport into question, right? We don't go, oh, all these guys must be doing that stuff. No, we go, well, all human beings do this stuff, so that doesn't really say anything about the sport having anything to do with that. But when it involves the sport, and it is something that can kind of take down the entire sport if it happens enough, and people just lose enough interest in it and become disenfranchised with it enough, then all of a sudden you don't have a sport. You have nothing, So that's why I think there is actually more vitriol for a guy in Bulgarian's case, a guy in Minner's case, Krause's case, allegedly, in all cases. I know nothing, but I'm just saying what we're all hearing through the grapevine. So people are saying, right, the journalists especially, I think I heard Ariel Helwani say that, if the UFC was alerted about this, then they should have pulled the fight. Okay, let me explain why that's not correct. Okay, number one, if you pull the fight, you don't have the crime. The crime is them doing it. The crime is conspiring and then acting on the conspiracy. But if you just conspire and they don't give you the opportunity to do it, no crime has been committed yet. So it's we're talking pre-crime. We're talking precognition. We're talking minority report here, okay? You can't actually do that. I mean, you can go, hey, we heard something's fishy, so we're just going to not even... But then it's like, well...
Bulgarian can go on to, the New York Times and say, I was pulled from a fight for no reason.
Yep.
Cut from the UFC, no trial, none of this, none of that. But now the evidence,
you have to have a smoking gun somewhere. And maybe if you do in fact have a smoking gun, like, I don't know, you walk into the locker room and there's a guy in a black hat handing a bag full of cash to somebody, and that guy's taking the cash and shaking his head, and then they walk in and you walk in and they look at you and they look super guilty and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe then in that case you have enough evidence, smoking gun, you guys were gonna do something, you're both out of here, But you can't just look at numbers on a screen. And I'll tell you why you can't just look at numbers on a screen. Because have you ever heard of being swatted? Everybody, swatted, right? Swatted, it happens. But what happens even more, or what could happen even more than that, is the very much more easy and much more legal thing. Like, this wouldn't even be illegal. It's illegal if you try to swat somebody. That's fucking illegal, right? Like, if you call a false police report, that's completely illegal. They will find you. You will go to jail. Okay? They're cracking down on that shit. But what's not illegal is having a Discord with 10,000 people in it and saying, yo, chat, being somebody like, I don't know, Dustin Jacoby or the MMA
Dustin Jacoby.
Being somebody like the MMA Guru, you have a chat of 30,000 people all watching a fight. And somebody gets it going with the chat and says, I'm not even saying the MMA Guru, but I'm saying like somebody like this, or maybe even somebody in the chat starts going, 5 minutes before McGregor fights, let's all bet whatever we can, $5 to $20, the same amounts that we're donating into this guy's chat, right? Let's all just bet on McGregor round 1, to lose in round one. McGregor to lose in round one. McGregor to lose in round one. All of us, right? Against whoever his opponent is, we're getting, Michael Chandler round one. Michael Chandler by submission round one. And Michael Chandler by submission round minute one, right? Like the same bets, the same hyper-specific bets. You could all agree to just do that. You'd see the exact same line movement, suspicious line movement, yes, of course, but there could be no conversation had with McGregor or Chandler, and you could just be doing it for the lulz. And then all of a sudden, this fight is pulled from the fucking card. And let's say you're, I don't know, the PFL. You're telling me they can't get a bunch of fucking people to do exactly what I just said, and then all of a sudden, the UFC pulls their biggest fight of the year from their card, hurting their brand, hurting their business. And if they set a precedent for, if we see this type of activity, then we are going to pull the fight immediately. Once you do it once, now it's precedent. Now it's what you have to do every time. If you don't do it, then it's like, now you're complicit in the corruption because you did it that one time. Why not this time? Because you wanted this time to happen and you didn't want that time to happen. You know what I mean? So that's exactly why you can't pull a fight just because of an irregular betting pattern. You will only give yourself more evidence and more strength in your case if you allow it to happen and it goes exactly along with that abnormal betting pattern. If it goes exactly the way. And by the way, what do you do when you sign up for a fucking sportsbook account? You put in your social security number. You don't think that the FBI can't figure out exactly who's betting this and then look into it to be like, all right, because there might just be coincidences sometimes. Like if you think about it, sometimes there might just be like, we all are watching the screen and we see one guy and we see another guy and we finally see them in the octagon and a bunch of people all go, oh, fuck, that guy is going to kill that guy. Round one. And they do it. And then it moves the line right before the fight starts. And you could probably come up with some data that shows times like that where that's happened, where it's been exactly the same kind of line movement, but it's been for a reason that just wasn't obvious, like actual something happening in the fight. You know what I mean? It could be like a guy having staph infection or shit like that. You know what I mean? Like things that people hadn't seen until one moment, but then everybody saw it all at once and they all bet it before the fight happened. Could create an irregular pattern. I'm just saying there's a million things that could create an irregular pattern. They all can't be grounds for pulling a fight, costing two guys money, costing the UFC money, reputation, and also now involving the UFC themselves and taking away evidence from the table. Because like I said, you don't actually even have the crime until you have the crime. If it is going to be. But it's really interesting.
Yeah, especially because Isaac Dolgarian was talking on a podcast earlier this week and was like, if people bet on me, I should get a piece of that.
That's crazy.
That money.
And like we've both been on podcasts before where we've done this for 6 years. Like we can honestly say like in the early days, you might like, especially when we had guests that we didn't know, we might say something and be like, I didn't like afterwards, like, I can't believe I said that. I didn't like the way that sounded. Like, why did I bring that up? Like sometimes you just have stuff on your mind and as you're talking, like it just comes out, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, like, we got to edit that out. Why did I say that? Like, why did I tell people your exact address? Like, it came right out. I don't know, whatever it was. And then, so imagine you're Dolgarian, you're on a podcast and you have this kind of thing in the back of your mind you've been kind of wrestling with for a while. And all of a sudden, you say this thing that's kind of adjacent to it. And then you're like, I probably shouldn't have said that this week with what I got going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when you're about to go to Vegas and anyway. So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, could just be all one big coincidence, but highly doubt it. My mind's eye, what I saw out there. Luke, if you were able to listen to the commentary, Daniel Cormier is sitting there like, what is Isaac Dolgarian doing? This is day one defense right here. He is doing everything incorrectly. Before the fight even starts, he's like, when Isaac Dolgarian goes for a takedown, he runs people through the cage.
Yeah.
Isaac Dolgarian goes for a takedown, gets stuffed, and then lets the guy take his back immediately. When, it'd be one thing if Isaac Dolgarian went out there and got slept or something like that. But the fact that you, a guy who is a very fast starter, starts every fight, has had like multiple 10-8 rounds in the first round in your last like 3 fights, and you go out there, do the worst takedown of your life. And who knows, maybe somebody in the back sees Isaac Dolgarian warming up, sees that he's slow, like, oh, he might have an injury. Text their boy, yo, Isaac Dolgarian, he's a huge favorite. I just saw in the back he has an injury.
He could have quit Zins the week prior. That would have done it. That would have made him really like lose a lot of IQ in there. I'll tell you that much.
But he like during the fight, Daniel Cormier is like, "What is he doing? This is not proper defense. This is not any defense that should be on the UFC level." That is what Daniel Cormier was saying during the fight. He's like, you should not be on this stage if you are bringing those skills to the table. Which there's plenty of fighters in the UFC who don't bring any skills to the table and somehow find their way into multiple fight contracts with the UFC. And we have to watch that slop every 3 months. You will get some lady with a 13-13 record who really has just been in the same level her entire career, has not evolved whatsoever, and will just blindly walk ass first into a win somehow every 4 losses.
Meatball Molly had to decide to retire. They were just giving her fights, and she's like, "Oh, blimey, mate, you're gonna get me killed in here. You better just cut me." And they're like, "No, we want Molly." And she's like, "I'm retiring. Like, you guys." Like, she's like, "I'm flattered, but like, you guys, if you're the UFC talent scouts and UFC matchmakers, maybe you're not doing your job, laddie, because I don't know what you see in me." Like, these guys have to like leave. A lot of these guys have to lay their gloves down because the UFC is just like milking the cow, like so much. And all right, so here's the complicated but very easy and simple to fix scenario behind all of this. It needs to be a competitive fucking job to be a UFC fighter, a UFC ref, and a UFC judge.
Slim the roster 50%.
You need to have, what'd you say?
Slim the roster 50%. I would say 50% deduction of roster, but bring Stadriskas back.
And by the way, there needs to be more of a churn because here's the problem, right? You say cut the roster in half. Hunter Campbell, Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, and Dana White, they're over here. They go, cut the roster in half. We have to put on 45 events a year with 12 fighters, and you think these guys are all so tough, but they say no every time we ask them to fight, so we have to sit there and cycle through and figure out how the hell we're going to get these fucking dates and venues filled with events. And I go, I know. Chill. Let me finish my idea. My idea is that we slim the roster 50%, but if they say no to fights, they got to go. Okay? It's like football. It's going to be like football. This is your schedule, and it's going to lead up to a championship that takes place on this day, and this day, like NASCAR. Like, you get points, and this is what it should. And actually, the points format that they have for NASCAR that they're actually getting rid of this year would be great for the UFC, because here's why. You have like a tournament every week, and in the tournament, you can do well at multiple stages of the race to earn points towards the playoffs. And then as you go through the playoffs, you are slowly eliminated. And everybody still races, but you have like 4 guys in the end that are competing for the cup. The 4 guys that were competing for the actual NASCAR Cup, none of those 4 even won the race. Okay? Like Ryan Blaney won the race, but fucking Kyle Larson won the cup.
My man.
Kyle Larson's the man, dude. He is the man. But anyway, I got to tell you about the NASCAR race after this. It was really cool. So, fucking bro, my point is you got to cut the roster. You got to cut the guys if they're not cooperating. You have to have a separate league, I think, for stars, like a separate kind of like, you have to have almost like it should all be the Contender Series. And then you should have the UFC, which is like for championships and stuff, you know, because at the end of the day, the stars are always going to be bitches about stuff. And we as fans are always going to, we're always going to allow them to be. We will always allow them to be. McGregor, anybody who we love to watch fight, Diaz, McGregor, Masvidal, like these kind of guys could all walk back into the UFC at any moment right now and decide to fight. And we would all be like, yep, get in there. We want to watch it. So they can take time off. They can do whatever the fuck they want, right? But I think that should almost be like a separate thing where you do like one-off matches between stars who are nowhere near title contention, you know, worthy. And then you have kind of like the running star maker, which is become a champion, defend the champion, get really, really good to the point where one of these stars wants to fight you because you've built up your own popularity and organically through the way you compete. you know, like an Ilya Taporia, builds it up like through competition and stuff like that. And now he's to the point where, shit, one of the stars might fight him because he's the star himself now because of what he's been able to do. Like, kind of weird examples I'm using here, but you got to make it very competitive. You got to pay them all more. You can't have any UFC fighter who is even able to be paid off. Like they should always look at it like, I have a good thing going here. I'm going to be compensated really fucking well for these fights. And if I keep winning these fights, I will have a career. So like no amount of money they can pay me is really going to be worth the career, like my life, you know, like you have to basically be making 100K minimum, I think, for every UFC fight, 100K minimum. And I'm the biggest guy who says pay these fighters less. But I think if you pay them like 100K minimum, then the ones who aren't really with it will get out sooner, more happily, and instead of messing with the sport. You know what I mean? Instead of like limping along and clogging up the fucking cards with these shitty, you know what I mean? Like instead of looking for a retirement package where they go, oh, I'm going to do a fixed fight or whatever, I'm going to actually just take a fight and I get paid well enough and whatever, you know?
We got to find out if Joe has ever been asked. Has anyone ever approached him?
We do have to find that out. But one more thing. I don't even really give a fuck about the fighters fixing the fights. I don't really think it happens as much as the refs or the judges, because as I just laid out, fighters have so much more to lose than a ref or a judge. A ref or a judge only has one thing to lose: a shitty job. It is a shitty fucking paying job to be a ref or a judge. It's a very shitty, thankless, shitty paying job. So that's all they have to lose when it comes to like what could be taken from them, right? But a fighter loses the opportunity to fight, the opportunity to train, the opportunity to be a coach, the opportunity to attend fan expos, the opportunity to just do really anything around the sport. You lose that. And that's what you've built your life to at that point. So if they're willing to take that risk, we know it's easy to catch for the most part, if it's on a big enough scale. And if it's on a small scale, do I really give a fuck? Like, for example, if a guy goes out there and is like, I think this is my last fight and I'm probably going to fucking lose. If the going gets tough, I'm going to fucking lose. I'm going to tap out. And his family and friends know that and they all bet a little bit. It's like, that's not as big of a deal to me as like some person who does this all the time and goes to fighters all the time and messes with it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is what I think it is. I'd imagine that like some greasy Italian dude is going Italian American, as an Italian American myself, is going up to them like, hey, I
don't think you're Italian enough.
Hey, fair enough.
I feel like a national bozy bear.
Like, I am Russian.
Hey, Isaac Dolgarian, why don't you slip on a banana peel first round submission? Now you better not get knocked out, kid.
So listen, what we do need to do, the refs, I think, are much more to blame in these cases and much more bribable, and I think the judges are much more to blame in some of these cases that we don't know about and much more bribable. You know what I mean? I think it easily could happen more with that kind of thing, especially when it's the judges who don't do it that often. Like, you're a judge for one night in some of these random towns like Texas or Louisiana. That's even better, right? You get one of these random guys in there who like doesn't want to be a judge and just is like, you know, you kind of slip him through the bureaucracy of the state and local government, and then you get them to do it one time. That seems to me like where a lot more of this lies. I don't know. I mean, it's all so crazy, but it needs to be a competitive job to be a judge. It needs to be a competitive job to be a ref. There needs to be more scrutiny. There needs to be better pay. You need to pay these guys more so more people want to do it, so more people compete for it, so you have more whistleblowers and more people figuring out how the fuck to make it a better product. Capitalism, laissez-faire economics.
Whistleblowers, because we need better. I said literal and metaphorical better whistleblowers, because
we need literal and metaphorical better whistleblowers. That is actually true as fuck. All right. Anything else?
Oh, yes, of course. But wait, there's more. If that was the worst thing that happened throughout that night, it would be one thing. But Mark Smith dumb as a box of rocks, doesn't know a thing. Watch any of his interviews on Joe Rogan and him sit there all wide-eyed and not spew a single lick of intelligence 1 second on any of those shows. Goes in there, stops this fight with Ante Dalia. Ante Dalia.
So wait, I watch this on my phone at the blackjack table. I watch Ante Dalia finish Waldo Cortez Acosta and celebrate with his team. I go, sweet. Lock the phone. Or like, look away from the phone. Go about my business. By the time I'm paying attention to it again, they've all left the cage. I go to the bathroom. I look at my bets. I see that Ante Dalia has lost. I go, how is that? I watched him win. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I was like, I saw it. I saw him win. The ref stopped it. He celebrated. How did this happen?
And Luke, the poetic nature of Isaac Dolgarian getting in trouble from the FBI about gambling when talking about how he deserves a cut of gambling earlier in the week was not the only nature. Like, we talk about this nature in MMA all the time. This nature always happens in MMA. Tom Aspinall's teammate pokes somebody in the eye. The guy comes back from the eye poke and knocks him unconscious within 20 seconds. And the craziest part about this is Ante Dalia sits here on an interview before the fight, before the week happens. They're asking him about Tom Aspinall. He says, it should be punished more severe. I've had 30 MMA fights. I've never poked somebody in the eye in a single fight. If you do it, it's intentional. And it needs to be judged more harshly. And then he does it. They restart the fight. There was no Tom Hardy. Is that the guy's name? Jeff Hardy? Tom Hardy? Who's the one married to Veronica Hardy?
Dan Hardy.
There's no
not
Dan
Jeff,
Hardy.
Not Matt, not Tom, but Dan. Lots of Hardys.
A lot of Hardys. The Hardy brothers. But, Mark Smith ends the fight. Daniel Cormier said it on Good Guy, Bad Guy, that they get word in their headset. They say, we cannot restart this fight regardless of the outcome. It was called. Then they say it's not called.
Wait, who said that?
Daniel Cormier said it on Good Guy, Bad Guy. They said in his head, he said in his headset, production told him,
the fight.
We can't restart the fight no matter what.
Yeah.
Then Herb Dean and Mark Smith.
That is the rule. We all know this, and it's happened before where a fucking ref has touched the guy to stop a submission, and we go, shit, I made a mistake. No contest. Not, okay, let's put him back in the fight like we did with Neil Magny, who screwed a lot of bettors in that case too.
Yep. So Herb Dean and Mark Smith have a little convo. They restart the guys. They restart the boys. They got Waldo Cortez Acosta dabbing his eye. He's sitting on the stool. Shouldn't be sitting on the stool for sure. He's resting up after just getting clobbered around in there, milking it because of his eye. Sitting there like, well, his eye probably did fucking hurt, but he's like, I'm gonna take my time until I'm fully recovered.
Cuban fighters are so good with the rope-a-dope too.
They are
essentially
so
doing like
crafty.
the best rope-a-dope of all time.
They are the craftiest of competitors that you'll ever see when it's wrestling, boxing, any sport. The Cubans have a lot of
tricks up their sleeve. Tricks up their sleeve. Hey, you already said the thing about the Italians earlier. Let's just say tricks up their sleeve. Like technique that is regionally taught throughout Cuba, like the rope-a-dope in boxing. Okay, anyway.
Yes, trickery.
Conservation of energy techniques, appearing, really just art of war shit. Like it's more Chinese than anything. Sun Tzu, appear to be weak when your opponent believes you to be strong, and appear to be strong when your opponent believes you to be weak,
Exactly. Comes back and absolutely flatlines.
I'm making one of those shirts, it's like, it'll be like, Joe and Nick and Jonas Brothers. It's like, it'll be like all the names, but it won't be like specific. It'll just say the first names. It'll be like Ron and Hermione and Harry and Dumbledore, It's like, I'm going to make one about all the Hardys. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Hardys so far that I can think of. We forgot Ed Hardy.
Ed Hardy, that's great. That's a great
Ed Hardy, Tom Hardy, Dan Hardy, Veronica Hardy, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. And then the Hardy brothers who do mystery detective work. I don't know their first names. I got to put them in there.
I think it was Dewey, Louie, and Screwy.
It was Yucko, Chucko, and Bucko. All right. So anyway, all right. We already talked about the FBI. We don't need the CIA after us now. So, all right. Dude, that was so crazy. I mean, like, I forgot about that. I fucking, with all the other stuff going on, I've completely just forgot about that. And yeah, there is, and I mean, there's so many examples of it. Of guys saying stuff, and then that happens to them. Like, it really is.
Conor McGregor said, "I'm going to put you in a stretcher." Ends up in a stretcher.
Yeah. And then there's the whole situation like Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman. It was like Uriah Hall was Chris Weidman's first fight or something like that, right? Like, if you look at their topology, there's something to do with, like, even deeper than the fact that they both had to do with leg breaks. Like, okay, if you go to Uriah Hall. Okay, Uriah Hall. If you look at he fought Chris Weidman, who's 4-0. Chris Weidman's 2-0. What was it? So he fought Weidman, he was 4-0, and Weidman was 2-0. But was that the first UFC fight? No. It was Ring of Combat. They fought each other in Ring of Combat. And it was like Chris Weidman. Oh, Uriah Hall was Anderson Silva's last UFC fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was. No. Yeah. And then we're wasting time. I don't need to figure it. They both had a leg break. Yeah.
Yeah. Every guy who's broken somebody's leg on their leg has also broken their leg on somebody else's leg.
You know what's hilarious though?
What's that?
Oh, no, never mind. Sorry. I was like saying here that Uriah Hall beat Anderson Silva twice in a row. And I'm looking at the page. I was like, I don't remember them fighting him twice in a row. Like, what the hell? So anyway,
but yeah, very poetic game. Very
mystical, very magical situation.
It's like that Deontay Wilder quote that you love.
It's prophetic.
Yeah.
Prophecies. There's lots of UFC prophecies and MMA gods. And, I even think of like Nate Diaz being fed to Khamzat Chimaev, and then all of a sudden he ends up somehow, some way fighting Tony Ferguson. Like the MMA gods just intervene and change. And
Kevin Holland, bad guy, ends up having to fight Khamzat. Hey, Carrie, how are you?
Hi, Carrie. It's been a rough one. So anyway, my roller coaster of emotions went like this. It went, wow, I make terrible picks and terrible bets, and I overdraft my bank account to try to win money back and chase losses, and this is irresponsible, and I'm a terrible person, and I need to be punished, and I should get a part-time job to make up all this money that I lost. I don't know what to say. It's like terrible. But then I wake up the next day and I go, wow, I thought it was my fault, but they've been fixing fights and irregular betting patterns and corruption. Like, then I started to think, I'm actually like the man. Like, I win so often. And apparently the FBI is saying there were hundreds of fights dating back all throughout the history of time that have been tampered with. And I'm like, and I still find ways to win despite all this shit. Like, first of all, they rig it against you by giving you odds in the first place. The odds ensure the house will always win. So I'm already up against it, but then I got to fucking rely on the fighters who are idiots, and they suck at fighting and don't do what they're supposed to do, and I believe in them. And so, like an idiot, I look stupid, but really they're the ones who didn't try hard enough. Then on top of that, you're telling me some of them are actually like the refs, the judges, and the fighters are all conspiring and like creating like fixed outcomes that I'm not privy to. That makes what I do when I have success even crazier. Like, I'm even better than I thought I was. So on a morning, I go, wow, it's ironic. The day that I lost the most was the day that there's actual a trackable like pattern of corruption to the night, Like, coincidence? I don't know. Like, yeah, did I lose it all on Bulgarian? No, but let's see what else is going on here. So that was my roller coaster where I was, I'm at one point I'm like, man, like I just think I'm just gotta slow down a bit because I'm not as good as I think I am. Then I go, you are as good as you think you are, but it's an impossible game. And then I go, but you are good and you can't let them win. And I get back on the horse, but then I go, but maybe you should just boycott out of protest. Boycott the whole sport, the whole gambling aspect of it out of protest until shit gets, correct. The course gets corrected essentially. But I know that, even though I am probably one of the 1% of 1% of 1% of gamblers in the country, I will say me stopping won't make a damn bit of difference because there's too many people that are just absolutely addicted to gambling on sports. There's too many people and there's too much money being made right now. Me stopping, even if I do it through the show and I tell everybody on the show not to bet anymore, actually I tell people not to bet every fucking week. If you think about it, the last thing that we say at the beginning of every show, don't gamble. The house always fucking wins. So you might think this is a joke. It is what I believe. Like, I don't think you should do it. It's not, people come to me all the time. Hey, Luke, can I pay you for picks? I'm like, you want me to, like, my friends will be like, can you give me picks? Like, you send me picks. I'm like, first of all, I do a podcast every week. Second of all, I have the open bet sheet that's on Patreon for like a fucking $1 a day. Then I have less. then I have 30 cents a day. Then I have, just tons of like picks that I post. I don't know. It's just like, you really want this? That's what I want to tell them. You really fucking want this? Like, you ever see that meme where it's the shark and it's like the parlay that I won and everyone says, wow, you're so lucky. And it goes, what the luck actually is. And it's the shark. I got to find this.
With every losing bet slip that you have before that. Yeah. Jeremiah Wells looked good. Demba Garimbo, terrible. Same with David Onama, both horrible. Steve Garcia, I guess he's the real deal. He's going to be he's really climbing up that 145 rankings, but the main stories of the night were really Ante Delija and homeboy Isaac Dolgarian, I'd say, for what my money's worth.
Yeah, it's the shark. I don't really need to show you guys, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like a shark, and it's like, oh wow, you're so lucky you hit that parlay. All you have to do is go to my Instagram account, and you can see highlighted story albums of wins. And it's just again and again and again. And then you see that I run out of space in that album. And then it's more wins. Year 6 wins. Year 5 wins. It's like, it's not a coincidence. I know what I'm doing when it comes to putting in these parlays. I just am a drunkard sometimes, and I'm irresponsible, and I'm a bit of a cowboy, and I just don't care. And I get too crazy, and I don't track you know what I mean? I'm not disciplined enough. But I think if you guys just don't do that, there's no reason why we can't just have fun. Look, oh, by the way, this is not alcohol. This is a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. I am not drinking. I have not drank since the night that I lost all this money, and we're still off the zinnies. So look, clean mouth. So yeah, we're good. We are sober, and we're pursuing another long fast, and then a ketogenic diet. Continuing with the kettlebells. I've been doing kettlebells, lateral raises, Z-step presses, inverted collarbone twists. I've been doing like fucking sumo squats, X raise bar XL. Like, these are like football plays I'm doing with these kettlebells. It's like inverse rotational Z flex Y banana. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing a Y banana with a kettlebell, but I end up doing So point is, all I can do is be a better me. All I can do is be the best me that I can be. And even though it's dark right now, we are fucking having a lot of success and a lot of pride in ourselves, and we're moving forward. And we are just gonna, like, Alex is wearing a suit. I like that. I'm wearing a very expensive, probably more expensive than his suit, Kith sweatshirt. So we're trying our best. And we're just going to gamble again this weekend. But honestly, guys, I feel like that parody guy who's like, day 36 of me proving I don't need to stop drinking. I'm going to quit drinking. I'm not going to today because why would I do it today? I don't want to. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's hilarious. But,
I'm drinking under the bridge.
fucking, we're gonna bet on these fights this weekend. Okay, it's gonna happen, but we're not going to get crazy. I'm gonna limit myself to $100, and if I lose that $100, 100 more. But that's it. Seriously. No, but I'm serious about that. Like I am serious about that. It's $100 limit with $100 leaf.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you want to get into the next set of fights?
You take it away. You do. You say what you need to say. You take it away. You tell me what you tell me the direction you think we should go. If you have anything more to say, it was a roller coaster of emotions. I just wanted to get that out and say, like, yeah, I am sober. I am going to gamble responsibly.
Clear mind, open heart.
Clear mind, open heart, can't lose. Clear eyes. I think it's clear eyes. Clear eyes. Full hearts, can't lose.
There you go.
I don't know what even that's from, but
all right. Well, without further ado, we're gonna get into the next set of fights coming up this Saturday. Another sloppy card, a terrible card, not the best card I've ever seen. We got Robert Valentin versus Jackson McVeigh. Luke, what do you think about this one? We've been burnt on Robert Valentin quite a bit. He's 0-3 in the UFC.
I've not been burnt on him.
Well, anybody who bet on him did. I know you bet on him against Atiba Gutierrez.
No. Well, I mean, like maybe
you bet on him against Ryan.
Maybe
Luke.
a sprinkle. But wait, what are you even breaking down that fight for? The first fight of the night is Miles Johns versus Daniel Marcos.
Oh, so that fight was just pulled off.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Back injury.
I have a back injury
within the last 30 minutes
So the fights that have been pulled: Robert Valentin last 30 minutes versus Jackson McVeigh. Valentin's out with a back injury. I have a back injury, and I'll still step in and fight Jackson McVeigh. What weight is this? What weight is this?
Let's see. Does Nick have your number?
It's
Vic Campbell.
Middleweight, and I am a middleweight right now, so I won't even need to go weight.
Does Vic Campbell still have your number?
Hunter Campbell, I can get Hunter Campbell's number. Hold on, I'll be right back. Talk about this fight, but break down how you think I could beat.
I don't know much about Jackson McVeigh, but I do know a lot about Luke. When he sees red, you want to be as far away from him as possible. But that's the secret, Doc. He's always angry. Okay. He's going Incredible Hulk mode. He's absolutely demolishing Jackson McVeigh. But why even bring that up? Because we got Miles Johns versus Daniel Marcos. No odds on this one yet. I'd imagine that there might not be odds on a lot of these fights yet. I think that they're going to have to reevaluate the landscape a little bit here. We got Chapo versus Son Cora. I'm going to go with Daniel Marcos. He's great. Sure, he lost to Montel Jackson, who has a very similar style to a Miles Johns. But I just think Daniel Marcos, that was a pretty close fight with Montel Jackson. It wasn't that decisive for Montel. I remember having Montel Jackson in that one. Really wanted him to win it, but I wasn't convinced.
Carrie, I want to address this real quick, Alex. Carrie, the funny thing about this is all these fighters that are coming out, like they're such little jokesters and little like attention seekers, and they all just want to text to Errol. Like Chael Sonnen on his podcast, he would have this famous line. He'd be like, you can telephone, telegraph, or tell a fighter because the word's going to get out either way. And or telephone, telegram, tell a fighter. Like it doesn't really matter. The word's going to get out. And it's because they're little gossips and they're little drama queens and attention seekers. And yeah, this is
Luke, it's because they sit around for 9 fucking months and everybody, their wife's finally like, what are you doing? When's your next fight? Are you doing anything? And they're like, yeah, I've been in the gym, babe. I've been in the gym. Yeah, I'm going to get a fight soon. I promise. My knee's banged up. and they sit there on their ass, lazy as all get out, no work ethic. And so oh my gosh.
I wasn't even talking about that. I was just literally talking about how they love
They've got
attention.
nothing going on. All they can do is gossip.
Balancing out, Quinona's out. But I'm sure that a lot of them do. But it begs the question: why didn't you tell Dana White? Why? Like, if I'm the UFC, if I'm your boss, yeah, people come and you want to just let that slide, like to Ariel Helwani or to your Twitter followers, like you just want to let that slide for your little publicity stunt. I'm coming to you as Dana White, your boss. I'm going, hey, bucko, when were you going to tell us that there's somebody trying to literally ruin our whole business and corrupt our business and go to you and offer you money? Who was it? Just some guy. So just some guy approached. Did he say my name is? Did he have a name? Do you know what he looks like? Where did he come up to you? Was it at your gym? Are there cameras? Can we see this guy? Because what you're talking about is a federal fucking crime.
Federal fucking prison.
That's fucking illegal.
I like that's fucking illegal a little bit better than the federal fucking, because I don't think Jim Krause did a day. All right. I don't think he did a fucking day.
Well, the Midwest Chopper, ironically enough, used to train with Jim Krause.
No, enough of that. First, enough of all this.
Well, it's crazy how two guys in the same circle end up in trouble for the same thing, and you're trying to say one of them's innocent and one of them isn't.
I didn't say anybody's innocent or guilty. I said Jim Krause didn't do a day, as far as I know.
Not yet.
Everyone was just,
they're building a case, and guess what? The bombshell just came in. The bombshell just dropped. The Midwest.
There's no bombshell, and this is all alleged, and I don't even believe anybody did anything. No, listen. At the end of the day, there's so many more important issues going on right now. How about 3i Atlas, the fucking fake alien spaceship they have coming to our way? How about the fact that 40 million people in this country don't have access to their food stamps right now? And I'm not worried about, and I hate government spending. I'm a libertarian. I'm just worried about those people who are used to getting free food coming to eat me. I don't want them getting free food. I just don't want them to eat me. We got to have a wean off period. You got to like slowly get them off the food. You know what I mean? You can't. And listen, look, by the way, I think we should
gotta lure them somewhere else with free food. That's the real goal there.
I am a libertarian, but I am kind of being facetious. But I just think, private charities and churches can give the food. We don't need the government to put a gun to Alex's head and say, give me some money so I can give these people some fucking food. And you're out here like, I don't even have any Rice Krispie treats myself. I just lost so many monies on fucking these bets. I don't have it. Like, what are you talking about? I've gambled my tax return away. Talking about me I don't pay more fucking taxes than anybody. Anyway, you know what I mean? Do you guys know what I mean? In the comments, in the chat, you guys know what I mean? Currently looking for an opponent for Yanez. Immediate report to the UFC and get brownie points. No, yeah, I mean, or just, it's like you're out here like making yourself look suspicious, You think you're making yourself look cool and like interesting, like you're an international woman of mystery. I'm Vanessa Demopoulos. People are always trying to get me to do stuff, but I'm too independent and cool. You know what I mean? They're all like, yeah, you know me, super two pens, super cool and independent and international and very mysterious. If you know,
I'm a bit of a maverick, like Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama.
I'm pretty badass, but I have a code. You might think that I'm all about just getting whatever it is I want, but I have a code.
You think
I'm like the jokester? I'm like the jokester.
The jokester. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, like Vanessa.
We don't know what you mean. We dumb, boy. Dumb as hell. I know what that's from, and that is Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Is that VCR Repairman? Is that a Meatwad? Is that a Meatwad you just threw at me? If the government shut down, we shouldn't be paying taxes on anything we buy or eat at restaurants. Bro, taxation is theft. We shouldn't be paying taxes on pretty much anything, right? I mean, the federal income tax was never ratified. The amendment to push the federal income tax was never ratified. Read The Creature from Jekyll Island. I could be killed for saying this, but read The Creature from Jekyll Island. This is me sober. This is crazy. And I'm more sober than ever, guys. Not even like, these AA idiots who are chugging a pot of coffee and doing a pack of cigarettes every day. Is that sober? I don't know. I think I haven't even had fucking any nicotine. Just Coca-Cola. I swear it's Coca-Cola.
No, I love Coca-Cola.
But now listen,
I
have a very addictive personality, so I have had to replace my 15 Zins a day with 4 or 5 or 6 not Diet Cokes, real Cokes. Okay, real Coca-Colas.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not that good either. But listen, I'm crazy. I have to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
but just have one Coke. I did
have one, and then I got a second one. I have a
Coca-Cola.
I got a second Coke. I got a second Coca-Cola today at work. I had one with my BLT, and then I said, I'm gonna get one more. Got one more. Come home. Wife goes, hey, we bought a 12-pack of Coca-Cola because you said you were getting into Coca-Cola. I'm like, I said that, but I didn't want it to be available. Like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't realize that I could put 2 in this big cup. So this is 3 and 4 for the day. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of Coca-Cola.
It's a lot of sugar. But I'm not drinking anymore. So I'm trying to kind of displace the sugar and trick my brain so that we can get a few days under our belt, get my 5-day chip. Then we can move forward with the sobriety. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like whack-a-mole. You get alcohol down, you get Zins down. Okay, now we go. I can't take the hand off this one until he stays down. So then we'll get the sugar when this one's down. You know what I mean? We stamp it out. Then we'll go get back up. It could come back up if we don't replace the sugar with something. We got to replace the sugar with like Grand Theft Auto or what's that game you were talking about? Pal World.
Yes.
I get deep into Pal World.
Absolutely.
And then maybe we stop gambling as much. Maybe we go Pal World instead of gambling.
And the only progression from that is Pal World to dumbbells.
According to Ariel, the FBI or somebody warned the UFC. So we actually already talked about this. You might have to go back and rewind, Carrie, because we did talk about this. We talked a very detailed explanation for why exactly the UFC should do nothing if alerted by the FBI. If the FBI comes to the UFC and says, we are forcing you to fucking not do this, that's even a bigger problem, to be honest. The government coming to a fucking private business and forcing them to not do their fucking business. But at the end of the day, the UFC is subject to, they ran towards regulation with the state and local.
It's not like there's a bomb threat. Like,
right. If the FBI and the government want to do that, at the end of the day, the UFC is beholden to the state and local athletic commission. So they can defer to that. And then those people can get literally voted out of their job next term. However, anything short of the government themselves forcing the UFC to not do an event, anything short of that, you can't involve yourself if you're the UFC, because there are ways of creating that same irregular betting pattern even if a fight isn't fixed, and then that can be weaponized in a SWAT-like fashion in order to cancel big events and ruin the UFC for the lulz. Not only that, but the crime has to actually take place.
All these people need to do is also tell Aiden Ross what's going to happen and tell him to tell his stream at the same exact time.
Yeah, right. Like you could even trick. For example, you could go $100 donation to Aiden Ross or MMA Guru or any of these streamers, right? And you go $100 donation. Yo, I heard there's actually one of these fights being fixed. Jackson McVeigh is going to take a dive first round. And then he plays that on his stream. So all his idiot, numbnuts, brain dead, betting addicted, gambling addicted followers go and shift the line.
And I'm sure there's some idiots who just heard that and think that that's actually true. That you just said that about a real fight.
Well, that's why I picked the fight that's not actually happening this weekend. But you know what I mean? But it's like so they do that, and then think about this: the FBI or whoever the independent betting monitoring agency, or whatever, they might be monitoring the movement of the lines. They're not monitoring the public fucking zeitgeist. They're not monitoring it would happen too quick. Like if it was 10 minutes before the fight started, it would happen so fast that there wouldn't be time for people to put the pieces together. Like, oh, it actually originated on Raja Jackson's Twitch stream. You know what I mean? Or whatever it was. Like it actually originated on this, and that's why it happened. And yeah, it was McGregor wasn't even involved. You know what I mean? It was nobody had ever approached McGregor or Chandler. It was a whole hoax done by the Aiden Ross fan club, or whatever. You guys see what I'm saying though? It's very important that we don't it's very important that we don't be a bunch of babies like Ariel Helwani, because he's just a fucking baby who, no offense, I love Ariel, but at the end of the day, when shit happens, he's always the one who's like, the UFC has to do this. It's baby behavior. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they fucking don't, because nobody's fucking life was on the line. And we're talking about a bunch of like gamblers who are gambling on a sport, and it doesn't fucking matter if, like, it's better that we catch them in the crime than we pull a fight and set a precedent that is terrible for the sake of the sport, further allowing this to happen more and more and more, and then further allowing us to speculate that the UFC has some conspiratorial involvement if they don't pull the fight. Meaning, so they have to do it this way every fucking time. The FBI alerts them. They go, cool, noted. Let's see what happens. If he fucking actually does the same thing that these bet patterns are betting on, we know we have a connection here. He did, allegedly. So then that means there's a connection. So now we can actually pursue something with evidence without fucking wasting our time or
Absolutely.
creating more speculation. Just let it.
And Kerry, if you wanted to hear all of that,
it's called a sting operation. It's called a sting operation.
If you wanted to hear what Luke thought about that, and that right there, you have to also go back and probably listen to the same exact thing you just said.
Go back and listen to the same thing again. I want to hear from the Euro Under King with that Turning Point jacket. Yeah, he does look like Turning Point.
I do feel like a politician right now. I do, in fact.
The color jack for now on is that Donald Trump or JD Vance color at any suit store. The color jack for now is on.
I don't know
love
what
it.
that means.
Justin, you're the man. I hate the UFC getting more and more overseas Olympic time for fight cards to US than here in the US. I don't know.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. God bless America.
I don't know what he meant. I don't know what he meant.
I don't necessarily know either. I gotta take a Chris myself. Okay. But
give Chris
I did tell
a little kiss.
I did say before you came back from whatever you were doing that I thought Daniel Marcos was going to beat Miles Johns, and that Miles Johns is very much like Montel Jackson, but a little slower. What do you think about that?
I think that Miles Johns is good. I like him. I think he's a talented fighter who has not had, a couple good outings, and I think that ultimately is going to lead to him having an even better, like, kind of resurgence. I think he's that type of guy. But I have always believed in Daniel Marcos. He's only got one loss, and that's his last fight to Montel Jackson. He's Peruvian. He's gonna have great gas tank. These guys are mirror matched as far as like their height and reach, but I think Johns has a little bit more hardiness and kind of like bulk to him. But I don't know that it'll matter, especially over the distance. I think Marcos kind of jabs him to death for 3 rounds and wins a decision. I think it goes to decision no matter what. But give me Marcos by decision. Oh, he's not here. Cool. Let's check on the chat real quick. We're getting more and more 12 o'clock. Well, here's the thing. Where do you live, Justin? Because I'm on the East Coast of the United States of America, and I love a noon start every once in a while. I love an early morning start every once in a while. What I don't love are the 2, 3 a.m. ones. I'm not interested in like being in that limbo zone of like, okay, do I go to bed early and wake up at 3 and not feel awake at all and be tired as shit? Or do I just stay up till 3? I don't like that. That's the one. And I never can do well winning money on those. I mean, the last one was Johnny Walker
Cali,
versus.
Says it right there. So he has some of these happening at 6 a.m. when we have them happening at noon.
No.
Noon, 8 a.m.
We don't.
10 a.m., 9 a.m.
3-hour difference in Cali. So, yeah, I mean, no, I feel you. Justin, you're good. We love you. It just was, I didn't know what you said overseas Olympic times. Right? Okay, and then now it makes it Olympic times. Like, yeah, like when you have freaking, it's like you're saying like the fights. Yeah.
Or in Beijing.
Fights ending at 10. What's your ideal start time and end time? Because if I were to really make it, I think the pay-per-view East Coast kind of 10 p.m. main card start for me is what I'm used to and what I think of as a big night. I think like if it's 10 p.m. main card,
I hate it. But
well,
I hate every second of it.
I'm nostalgic about it because for me, it's like, okay, cool. 10 p.m. main card. That means I show up to my boy's house for the, it's the 6, 8, 10, 6 o'clock early prelims, which really means 6:30, 8 o'clock prelims.
My issue is that when by time the main event comes on, everybody at the party is sleeping, partying down.
I like that. Wean them out.
Weed them out. Matching the energy. They had all this energy for bullshit fights that nobody gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
But the one that homeboy asked me 17 questions on who he should bet on 17 times throughout the night doesn't even stay up to watch the outcome.
Dude, yeah, I feel you like that. But I kind of I don't mind that. To me, it's like a act of like it's like an attritious thing. Like we're all there's attrition and it's a war of attrition. And you have to push through and you get there. And then all your girlfriends are asleep on the couch.
This guy says I'm looking like Turning Point, but you just sound like Jordan B. Peterson over here.
It's a war of attrition. Makes me. Okay, but no, I think for me, ideal. Yeah, I mean, if you said, Luke, you have to pick one for the rest of your life, I'd be like 6, 8, 10. 6 prelims, 8 prelims, 10 main card. That's what I want. That means that for Cali it would be 3, 5, 7.
There you go.
And then he said he doesn't like the fights ending at 10. So you want it 4 to 9. So we can make that happen. That means it's ending at it's starting at 7 for US East Coast and it's ending at midnight US East Coast. So it's like that's what's probably going to happen.
That's better.
Yeah. If you have 2 championship fights, co-main and main, it's going to end at 1, but
all right. Well, next up we've got Tisha Ron Pennington versus Denise Gomez. Luke, we've always said we love Tisha the Tiny Tornado around here. She's getting old. She's getting a little, she's getting gray. She's going into her golden girl era. What do you think about this?
I think Denise Gomez stinks. I think she stinks. I mean, she lost to Angela Hill. She's older than fucking Tisha Pennington. Give me the tiny tomato. I'm just not betting Denise Gomes at minus 225. She's 25 years old. She's not like that good. She's not that like she couldn't finish Karolina Kowalkiewicz, old fighter. She couldn't beat Angela Hill, old fighter. Her last fight was against Elise Reed, the worst fucking fighter in the UFC roster at 115. The worst 115 pounder in the UFC currently is Elise Reed. Elise Reed is 8-4. Elise Reed is a white belt on the ground. The only reason she's not winless in the UFC is because some idiotic fighters don't take her to the ground and lay on top of her for 3 rounds and beat her ass. So I'm taking that plus 170, 36-year-old Tisha Pennington, but it's a no-bet situation for a guy like me right now.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Tisha Torres Pennington. I just think she's the better fighter. She is a tiny tornado. She does have unrelenting pace. And I think she tires Denise Gomez out. She can do it on the feet. She can do it on the ground. I think she's going to mix it up and find her way into a razor close unanimous decision.
All right. You said Denise Gomez?
No, Tisha Pennington.
Okay, gotcha. All right, next we got Max Gilmenis fighting out of Ellicott City, Maryland, just out of Baltimore Ground Control Academy. I know exactly where this is. In Baltimore, Ground Control. This is, where Tucker Lutz trains. This is looking through some more of the roster. There's a couple other guys who trained here that I remember. But anyway, this guy, Max Gimenez, Ground Control Academy, 32 years old, 4 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission, 1 win by decision. Only loss is by knockout to David White in 2023. David White is currently not fighting since that fight. He hasn't fought since that fight. I will say this real quick though. Nick Rodriguez grappled against Max Gimelis. He lost in grappling.
Also, Luis Pena
and Victor Hugo. Many times Victor Hugo. And
he's got a very extensive jiu-jitsu.
He grappled Buchecha, Victor Hugo. I mean, lots. And Dylan Dennis. He has a win against Dylan Dennis in 2016. That's interesting. Dylan must have been pretty young. I mean, if it was 2016, that's
around the time he was training Conor, though, I would believe.
32 years old. Dylan's my age, so okay. Well, how old was I in 2016? I was 24 or 23. Not that young. And this guy is the same age. He was 24 too. He's 32. Dude, it's crazy when I look at men and I'm like this guy is his Tapology picture with his big beard. And I'm like, yeah, this guy looks way older than me. And I'm like, dude, I'm getting old. I'm old. Like, I am 32. This is crazy. Like, he's 32. Like, he's the same age.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Josh Hockett looks older than you. But you've got like a Hezbollah thing going on,
And he's not, right? Yeah, and he's not. I must have like a Hezbollah thing going on. Thank God. All right.
Just don't get around John Jones. Don't get
Josh
anywhere close to
Hockett
him again.
is really, really fucking good, Alex. Really, really fucking good. He is also hilarious and has a Chael Sonnen, Macho Man Randy Savage like persona. I watched him fight on the Contender Series this year. He fucking elbowed the shit out of this guy on the ground and beat him in a minute. In a minute into round 2. But he's good. DC touts him. 2-0 Bellator, 3-0 UFC or LFA, 1-0 Contender Series in the UFC, 6-0 record. He's not going to let this pass him by. He's going to go over there. He's going to take Max Gimenez down. He's going to get this win on top.
But is that the path to victory? That's the path to victory against a guy who was in the ADCC, like good wrestling guy, grappling.
I kind of want to go Max Gimenez.
Like, is this Josh Hockett guy? Is he a wrestler? Tell me about this Josh Hockett guy, because it seems like he has a lot of knockouts.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go back and watch it. I did watch his fight on the Contender Series. I did see all the B-roll, but there was
he's
something
got 3
about it, like,
knockouts, 3 submissions.
I just remember
2 of his knockouts are by ground strikes. A lot of GMP, ground and pound.
Would
All
say.
right.
Josh went as far to say that he sees himself fighting for the UFC title in 2 years. But is he really that good? Well, prior to MMA, Josh excelled in wrestling and football in high school and college, but ultimately he decided to go with football, where he even made it to an NFL practice squad. But with his football career not really going anywhere, Josh went into MMA, where his wrestling really gave him the advantage, as he'd bring his opponents down, throw ground and pound, and lock up submissions. On the feet, he isn't the greatest striker, but his athleticism and speed definitely make him a hard target to hit, and on occasion, he's able to connect with some nice shots. Considering how shallow the UFC heavyweight division is at the moment, I could definitely see Josh getting into the top 5 at the very least, as there aren't many strong heavyweight grapplers. Plus, with all the attention he's getting with his trash talking, I can see the UFC pushing him even faster than most other fighters. But what do you think?
Yeah, he looks like a smaller Gable Steveson, just like how he looks, and Gable Stevenson's going to be in the UFC soon. I at least know Hockett. Fresno, California, baby. Nice.
I think we got to go with Hockett, just because this guy has grappling experience. I think he's more comfortable on the back from his back though. I think he's going to be takedownable. Like think about most jiu-jitsu guys, like they're takedownable. They're if
Not heavyweight jujitsu guys. They're not throwing a bunch of leg locks. They're not doing any of that stuff. They're like kind of doing a lot of mother's milk, smothering.
right, but this dude couldn't even beat like he's fighting Dylan Dennis, and I'm also seeing AJ Aga's arm. Those are little guys. He's grappling against little guys a lot of the time. It would seem. Now he's a heavyweight. It was absolute? Maybe were these absolute matches?
Maybe he was himself a little guy at one point.
Might have been absolute. You know,
it could have easily been.
Okay, this guy's got a CG. He lost to Nicky Rod round 2 rear naked choke. Craig Jones Invitational 1. You know, I think watching that match might prove fruitful to understand what kind of jiu-jitsu guy this guy is.
Yeah, because Nicky Rod, he's a smothering wrestler. South Jersey boy.
That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so we go Hockett. We go Hockett by finish.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I like it.
There's certainly stuff to like about Gimenez as an underdog, though. But he didn't go through the Contender Series, and he's 6-1. So why the hell did he not have to go through the Contender Series to get his opportunity when Hockett did? Because I think the UFC has guys in mind, 4 guys they want to push, so they give guys like Gimenez matchups they see as favorable. I think that's what's going on here. Hockett's not ready for a good striker. They give him a guy who is going to accept ground positions with him. And a guy.
Well, this is what happens when you cut guys like Martin Bidet, Hamdi Abdelwazabi, Chris Barnett,
Alexander Romanov.
Like, we have to get a Max Gimenez in here to
Did
fight.
They even cut Barnett?
I thought they cut Barnett. I heard that they cut Barnett.
I didn't hear that.
But I've been seeing this guy who's posting a lot of people get cut. And I think sometimes sometimes
their contract expires and they haven't renewed it yet.
You know me, I get got very easily. Like you throw text on a picture of a fighter, I will fall for it 90% of the time.
Plus the UFC with Isaac Dolgarian, that was the last fight on his contract. So maybe did they actually cut him officially at this point? I don't know. All right, next we got Mauro Bueno Silva versus Jacqueline Cavalcante. Jacqueline Cavalcante 9-1, minus 250 favorite, 6 years younger, 2 inches taller, 4 inches of reach advantage, coming off the win against Julia Avila. Then a split decision against Nora Cornell, a split decision against Josiane Nunes, a decision against Zara Ferran. This girl's a decision machine, man. And the girl, she's fighting 3-fight losing streak. I really don't believe in Mauro Bueno Silva. I think she's got a really surprised expression on her face every time she's in there. She doesn't really seem to know she's in a fight. She doesn't really seem to know what to do in there. She always kind of looks like, wait, where am I? What am I doing? Looking at her coaches. What should I do? Like, real surprised in there. Very annoying. Doesn't know what she's doing in there. So give me Jacqueline Cavalcante, but it's a no-bet situation for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch this with anything. I'm just going to go with Bueno Silva just because I want to sound smart next week if it does happen. And, because I wouldn't touch this fight personally. But I'll go with the good Silva. I haven't necessarily been super impressed with Cavalcante. She has beaten some high-level women, Nora Cornhole. I think highly of Nora Cornhole. But Julia Avila, not that good. Josiane Nunes, just too small. Head's too small. And Zara Faram, I don't think she has a single fight in the UFC or a single win in the UFC. No, she's 0-4 in the UFC. So give me the dog shot on Mauro Bueno Silva, the good Silva as they call her. She did fight for a title at one point. She does have she won a title. No, she didn't. I'm getting ahead of myself here. She did not win a title.
Do we care?
No, we don't actually. Give me Mauro Bueno Silva.
Jamal Emmers versus Hyder Emil. When I think to their most recent performances, coming off a knockout loss, first ever loss, but only taking 4 months to come back from a knee knockout like Delgado delivered to Hyder Emil. And then you got Jamal Emmers, who just 7 months ago knocked out Mr. Gabriel Miranda after taking a year off when Nate Landwehr knocked him out. I think that I have to go with Jamal Emmers here. It's a pick 'em for a reason, but I think Hyder Emil will come out with volume and persistence and tenacity and like show more effort and show like he wants to do more to like impress the judges and also just to like be a bat out of hell in that opening minute or two. I think Emmers will take time to get settled, but ultimately will find his shots in a chaotic Emil exchange and put Emil down. I think 4 months is not long enough to take off after getting knocked out when you're 35 years old. If Hyder Emil were 10 years younger in this exact situation with this exact record, I would be like, fine, whatever. But he's 35 and he got knocked out 4 months ago. And Jamal Emmers has some slick hands. He can drop punches in there and connect. So give me Jamal Emmers.
Yeah, and he's going to have a huge reach advantage, definitely a huge leg reach advantage as well. He's going to be peppering Hyder Emil up. I think the world of Jamal Emmers, I think he's gotten a bad shake. He's lost a couple of split decisions that I thought he definitely won. Should have a better record in the UFC, in my opinion.
He's lost to fucking only good guys in his career. Like, he lost to Ray Trujillo, Thiago Moises, Julian Erosa.
But I mean, how chinny do you have to be if Thiago Moises' pillow hands are putting you away?
Right. Yeah. It was a headlining fight in the RFA in 2016.
I need some more context. This has to be up a weight class or something.
Took 1 month off, by the way, after the round 5 punches in that fight. I'd like to see what happened because if maybe it was a robbery, like maybe he.
And it wasn't lightweight too.
So I mean, it was in round 5. But then you got he fought the next month. That was June 3rd, 2016. He got knocked out. He lost by KO to punches with Moises. Fights a month later. Couldn't have been that bad. You know what I mean? If he got sanctioned. And then fights again, and then again, and then again, and then loses to Erosa. Again, split decision loss to Giga Chikadze. Pat Sabatini catches him with that heel hook. Jack Jenkins split decision. Jack Jenkins is good. Nate Landwehr catches him. It's like, all right, these guys are all better than Hyder Emil, I think, right? I mean,
I believe so. I'm going with Jamal Emmers.
But I do think Hyder Emil, if he is 100%, could get a win because he just is more. I think he's just more like Michael Chandler, Volkanovski, Hyder Emil, like rock solid mindset, gonna put in the effort, gonna put in, you know what I mean, like gonna try. Like
he's gonna walk through hell.
Yeah, like Emmers will in some fights, like the one with Giga Chikadze or the one with Moises, like go the distance and not have the volume or whatever to get it done, or have a lapse in judgment and get heel hooked instantly by Pat Sabatini. Like he's not the most he's not as focused as Hyder Emil. So if Hyder Emil could easily catch him slipping, I think. But so I really want to see, it's a pick 'em fight. I got to see these guys like in the ring. You know what I mean? I got to see the ref like makes the announcement. They touch gloves. Then I will know who I think is going to win more than I do now, because I need to see the spryness, the spring in the step, the eyes. I got to see that kind of thing because I think that's what this fight depends on,
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we got a banger. This one, I think I'm gonna have the correct pick on this one. It's Marco Tulio versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm gonna go with CLD myself. I just think he's fought a way higher caliber of opponent than True Tulio with the flow back in your ears here. Yeah, Christian Leroy Duncan is a stable parlay pillar in my opinion. Sure, he lost to RoboCop, Armand Petrosian. Armand Petrosian, that one's a little off, but RoboCop, no shame in that whatsoever. He's a big, heavy hitter. I just don't think Marco Tulio is going to be able to have the sting that some of the guys that CLD has fought in the past. And I don't think he's really going to make a lot of connection with CLD. I think CLD is very, very smooth in there. And I think that he's going to have a bit of a size advantage in this one. Am I mistaken on that one? He's going to be coming in with a 5-inch reach advantage and a 2-inch height advantage. I think he's going to keep Marco Tulio on the outside, put it on him, pitter patter him, and take him out.
completely agree with Justin. Dog of the night. I'm going with CLD as well. Tulio has not fought anybody like CLD, and the people he has fought probably are going to give him a bit of a false sense of confidence, I think, coming into this fight. Whereas, CLD got a bounce back fight against, like Pulaev and Anders after losing to Rodriguez, but has had just more UFC fights, 7 UFC fights. Granted, now that I look at his record more closely, the best guy he fought is Rodriguez, and he lost to him. So this, I just think that he did what he should do to Anders at the age gap that they fought under, and that gives me confidence that he can go tit for tat with Tulio. And in a 50-50 situation, I'm going to go with the guy who's got more UFC fights and is the underdog for some reason. So give me CLD. And yes, he said not all Fresno people act like Hockett. Every guy in Fresno looks like Daniel Rodriguez, and looks like every woman looks like Gomez. Silva by sub, no. Silva not better than the other girl with striking, but the grappling and strength maybe way too much. Maybe. Someone said even Emil has a knee sleeve. And the jacket and the way Lukey's moving gives me 90s New York hip hop, maybe Beastie Boys. De La Soul. And CLD wobble him with backward elbow and then pick up to the cage. Yeah, I fucking can see some spinning shit, knees, punches, etc.
The next fight, I'm
you're
super
from
curious.
What? Oh, good.
The next fight, I'm super curious on your opinion. This is a very, very tough fight to call for me. It's Ricky Simón versus Hony Barcelos. Hony Barcelos, he's 9-4 in the UFC as a 40-year-old man, 38. I'm gonna need to check that birth certificate. He looks terrible for 38. He looks at least 6 years older. And then we got Ricky Simón. Luke, what do you think about this one? Ricky Simón also 10-5 in the UFC. Great record for these guys. Clap it up for them.
You can't call Hony Baloney washed. I mean, he's 9-4, but the guys he's lost to, sure, Umar Nurmagomedov, decision to Valiev, decision to Henry, and a decision to Phillips. You would think he's out here getting finished. You would think he's out here getting knocked out. Not the case at all. Never been knocked out in the UFC, never been finished in the UFC, and is on a really sick win streak. I mean, he beat Christian Quinones, Peyton Talbot, Cody Garbrandt in a row, 3 wins in a row. I think, I think Hony Baloney is better than any 38-year-old in the UFC at this point, record-wise and run-wise and performance-wise. But that straight right hand that Simon connected on Javid Basharat, smooth, amazing, awesome. Beats Cameron Smotherman after that. I'm going with Ricky Simón. Ricky Simón, 15 fights in the UFC, plenty of wins himself, plenty of wins over just as good, if not better, opponents than Baloney, but also has some losses, to like Batista, Yadong Song, Faber, Font. Not bad losses, right? Not bad losses to have, especially with some of them being early in his career. So, yeah, man, I'm going with Ricky Simón. I think it's obviously it feels easier than it will be with a guy 33 versus a guy 38. It feels like it should just be, it's a 135-pound fight. You don't have many 33-year-olds in the UFC. You don't have a lot of 38-year-olds in the 135-pound division. So it should be easy, but it will be probably a little bit more difficult.
And I think that's just because so many people have been burned on Hony Barcelos in the past that they're just afraid to bet against him ever again because they thought Peyton Talbot was the next best thing in the entire world, and they thought Cody Garbrandt was still doing the robot in the middle of fights, but they're not smart. Hony Barcelos loses against wrestlers: Kyler Phillips, Umar Nurmagomedov, Victor Henry, Timur Valiev. I think that Ricky Simón can take this fight to the ground at will. Hony Barcelos will oblige him, let him take him down, think that he will sweep, reverse the situation, but he won't. And Ricky Simon's going to spend a lot of time on top. Give me Ricky Simón. I think he gets it done by decision.
Yeah. But he could finish him too. He could drop him, ground and pound,
He could, but I just think that Hony Barcelos is going to be pushing the grappling exchanges.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then
I think he'll accept them because he'll be safe there.
he will
think-
try to like clinch up with Ricky, and Ricky will like land 2, go for the takedown, and immediately Tony Barcelos is gonna like pull guard.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and
Yeah, I think Ricky's gonna be throwing fucking heat at him, and he's not gonna want to take the heat, and he's gonna go for grappling.
Absolutely, another great fight. This is actually not a bad card. These are great fights. No name value, but these are going to be some great fights and some decent name value. These are all guys that like we know.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't know any of these guys. We know
And
all of these guys.
Justin, you got a 1 p.m. start time, and then you got for prelims, and then you got a 7 p.m. main card for East Coast. That's 4 p.m. main card for you. You're gonna be over. The fight's gonna be over for you by 6:30, 7 o'clock. Beautiful. You got a whole movie night with
out.
Ahead of you.
Yeah, you take the old lady out. You get her out of your hair for a few hours. Take her out, appease both masters, and then you're going to Sizzler, baby.
I'm going to the zoo on Saturday.
Very nice.
And then then we get done the zoo. Boom, fight start right away.
Oh yeah. Well, next up we got Moreta, which is a hammer, right?
Maheta
versus Taco. Chris Padilla versus Ismael Bonfim. Luke, I'm going to go with Chris Padilla in this one. I'm going to reward good behavior. I think the world of Chris Padilla. He's another guy who there's just something about this guy. I love him. Ismael Bonfim, certified quitter, quits in fights. Chris Padilla is there for a good time. He's going to sit in the pocket. He doesn't give a shit. He's going to withstand that early storm against Ismael Bonfim, and he's going to whoop his ass. I think he's going to finish him in the 2nd or 3rd round. Give me Chris Padilla. Give me Chris Padilla all the way.
Yeah. In the context of a wooden hammer with a square, Maheta means wooden hammer with a square head. So like a mallet.
Okay.
Would be the most direct translation. Sledgehammer is probably what they mean, but yeah, I agree with you, man. I kind of have to go with Chris Padilla here. You got to reward bad behavior and demote good. You got to demote bad behavior and promote good behavior. And Chris, he beat Jai Herbert, beat Rong Zhu. The Jai Herbert fight was not impressive at all. It was a snooze fest. It was boring. It was whack, lame, boring. I mean, yeah, like the Bonfim, this Bonfim brother, one of them is a submission guy, one of them is a knockout guy. This one's coming off a knockout loss, and yeah, I'm going with Chris Padilla too. As I think the odds are better value, better reach advantage, and it's going to be a harder fight than Bonfim thinks it should be. Padilla might have 6 losses. Bonfim's got 5, guys, with only 4 more fights. So 3 more fights.
Absolutely. Next up, we got an old dog versus a mid-aged dog here. Muslim Salikov. Now, Luke, I've been trying to get you to take Muslim Salikov for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been singing Muslim Salikov's praises. He beats Ponzinibbio. He knocks out Kanong Song with a spinning wheel kick. He knocks out Carlos Leal in 42 seconds with a hook. Luke, am I going to get you onto the Kung Fu Master for once?
No, I'm going with the Dr. Urs Madiq emphatically. And you know what? I have been wrong in the last 3 times I've tried to fade Muslim Salikov, but you don't buck the trend. You keep going. It has to come up black eventually. He is not going to retire undefeated. And cut back to this video if he does. If he fights 3 more times as a 6-fight win streak, I bet against him every single one, and he retires on a win streak, and then I just never get to get it all back on his final loss. But he's an underdog here. I'm going with the Urs Medic, -200. Feels generous for a 40-year-old 170-pounder. Medic's a bit shitty, and he got knocked out by lesser men than Salikov. So I don't know what I'm doing here, but here we go.
This is another one where the line should probably be a little bit further Muslim Salikov's direction. It gives me the heebie-jeebies here. It's giving me the same vibes that it's giving me the Tony Barcelos fight, where
Yeah,
it's like,
why? Right. It's like
why?
It's like
Why?
why is he not? He's 40 fucking years of age. He's 41 years of age.
And is that because let's see, do they have the odds
He should
for
be a huge underdog. But
Carlos Leal? He was plus 375. Kanan Song, he was a favorite, and Santiago Ponzinibbio, he was a dog. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with Muslim Salikov. I've been singing his praises for a while. I think he's great. I think he's very tricky in there. He's got a lot of Cuban in his in his style. He's got a lot of tomfoolery, a lot of trickery, and he manages to get it done. And he's fought way higher caliber of competition than Euros Medic. Like, all he's fought really is Matt Semmelsberger, Orelbeck, Mela Dubai, Gilbert Ubrina, Punalele Soriano, Tim Means, Omar Morales. Jalen Turner's his best fight, and he lost that one. So, we were high on the Medic when he first came in, but I'm going with the Kung Fu Panda here. Give me Muslim Salikov.
dude. All right. Next we got Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. You'll remember Joseph Morales from The Ultimate Fighter, and what I remember from The Ultimate Fighter is I kind of had Alibi Idris pegged to win the whole season, right? And he was able to upset him and get the win and get the UFC contract. So, this is Alpha Male versus wherever the hell Matt Schnell trains at in Louisiana, right? Or I know he's not in Louisiana. He does American Top Team, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he does. But either way, it's like I just got to bank on the
He's playing out of Louisiana.
Okay. Well, I thought he was maybe went down for a little bit there. But what's crazy is that Matt Schnell, he's how old is he? 35. Not over the hill, but 5 knockout losses, 3 of which came pretty recently. I don't know that it's gonna hurt him or help him in this fight to have been knocked out so many times, but I know that he won his last fight. I like Matt Schnell. I think he is good, and I think he can win. But I just think Joseph Morales is if he can get past that undefeated 10-0 Kazakhstani kid, then this is Matt Schnell. I guarantee Alibi Idris was fighting a lot fucking harder to preserve his undefeated record, win the Ultimate Fighter, get a UFC contract, get the fuck out of Kazakhstan, and make his whole family rich. Yeah, he was definitely fighting pretty hard in his last fight, and Joseph Morales found a way to win. Matt Schnell, what's his incentive to win here at 35 with 7? He's fighting for his career. Probably
he's getting fucking approached before this fight. He has a up and down record with the UFC. Doesn't know if he's gonna get re-signed, and is a guy who would fucking take the money.
No,
okay?
Don't say that about Matt Schnell. He would not take the fucking money.
I'm saying a lot of these guys. You got to look at a lot of these guys with
but not the week after.
A Christmas tree looking record. Win-loss. They're finally coming up to I'm going Padillo. That makes a triple P certified. Hell yeah, VCR repairman. Win-loss. They have to come to the end of their contract eventually. And if somebody approaches them when their contract is almost up, their probability of doing that goes up tenfold when they already think they're going to lose the fucking fight. Give me Joseph Morales. Huh?
Predatory behavior, yeah. But, Matt Schnell's a plus 200 underdog. I don't really think there's any meat left on the fucking bone to, even if he wants to. You know what I mean?
Dude, here's the thing. When you can bet on such specific things with this sport where it's first round submission, first round knockout, you can literally bet for the exact time of the finish. And it's
I know.
Plus 20,000 odds. If they just bet submission minute 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, they're getting a crazy payout for betting that exact thing. And they know not Matt Schmel in particular, but anybody, if you tell them, yeah, tap out in the first round, boom. Yeah, Schnell will try to throw the fight by sub, but we'll get knocked out. That's funny.
And then, we should investigate Shrek Taglioni for coming up to him after that fight and being like, I don't know what was worse, your head hitting him, his punch, or your head hitting the ground. Don't worry, you'll see it. You'll remember. You'll see the replay. That was the craziest shit.
Chris Taglioni with the gallows humor.
Bro,
to a guy who's definitely concussed.
Too fucking soon. VCRs. Oh, yeah. So we are are going with Morales, but I think Matt Schnell has integrity and wouldn't do anything bad. Just want to make that clear. Okay, Gabriel Bonfim, Brandy Rude Boy Brown. Rude Boy Brown, I got upset with Rude Boy when he was in Australia. They had him holding on to when he was fighting Jack Della Maddalena. They had him holding koalas and marsupials and kangaroos. And honestly, that's why I thought Mackenzie Dern was going to lose her fight. She's in Abu Dhabi at some dude's house. His freaking let's call this shit what it is. It's not lavish opulence or luxury. It's redneck shit. All right. It's sand version of some. No, I'm saying it's the sand. it's the Florida or Louisiana or fucking hollers of West Virginia version. What?
Salt Lake.
But just put it in the sand. Like it's that version of what we have here in America. Mackenzie, I'll take you to some people's houses in America, but they have gators, snakes, tigers, and they have missing teeth and a crystal meth addiction. You know what I mean? These sheiks have them, and everyone goes, "Ooh, how fancy!" I'm like, it's not fancy. It's reckless, dangerous, and crazy behavior. And you got to think: are these animals getting their shots? Are these animals getting their vaccines? Are these animals well fed? Are these animals not harboring diseases? Even on their best day, these animals are getting and passing diseases to humans. And Mackenzie's like letting the lizard crawl on her head. She's like letting the snake. It's like a literal montage of 15. It's like if they knew it pissed me off that Randy Brown held one parrot on his arm. Mackenzie was like doing a montage of like 40 different animals that she's holding and kissing and fucking. I'm like, dude, Mackenzie, you got a fucking championship fight tomorrow. You're out here kissing a fucking emu. So anyway,
Randy Brown, dumb as all get out. But Ishmael Bonfim, he went to a split decision with an old ass man, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who pulled out of this fight last. Oh, it was just rescheduled. Interesting.
And you know what, man? That old ass man, Wonderboy Thompson, that split decision Bonfim. Let's investigate that one. Let's investigate that fucking one. How about we do that? Because last I checked, this is submission guy, right? This is submission guy. This is guy who does submissions, right?
Why is Wonderboy Thompson the only person allowed to have backdoor agreements? And why is he allowed to joke about it?
It's disgusting. Like, me and Kay Holland, we had a little gentleman's agreement. And then in that same fight, Kevin Holland decided exactly when it ended. Yeah. He decided by quitting on his stool.
Wonderboy Thompson might be the most corrupt of them all.
And I would love to see him investigated. If he's got nothing to hide, why would he oppose that? He's a good guy. I want to be like, Wonderboy, you're a good guy, right?
Fucking buses.
You're one of the good guys. You're a nice guy, right? You should be happy to have an investigation. You should be like, oh, I'm so nice. I'll happily, cordially oblige you to investigate me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
creepy when I don't have a big enough audience like Red Bar or anything, but we should definitely do like a college style prank where we just message Wonderboy on his comments and say, I heard about the investigation. You know what I mean?
That would be nice.
I don't believe it. But Kash Patel is talking crazy about you,
I think we could make that happen just by like, Joe is kind of like in Wonderboy's circle. We might be able to get some steam with that.
well, I mean, I don't think Wonderboy gets a lot of activity on his Instagram. We could probably, with like 5 guys, get him like at least to see something and be like, wait, what? They're investigating me. I just think it's funny that, Wonderboy, who gets his South Carolina chicken neck choked off, and every fight against a grappler takes on Bonfim, and suddenly Bonfim wants to have a learning experience and take the fight the distance,
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like maybe Bonfim by decision was plus 800 and Bonfim by submission was minus 115. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe. Who knows? I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, but
wait. He says Randy Brown is the wrong type of religious for fighting. I don't think I don't think Randy Brown is. You're confusing him with Jalen Turner, who is also.
Yeah. Randy Brown is like voodoo. He believes in like voodoo, right? I think that's a good religion for fighting.
I don't know if I wasn't trying to get down this rabbit hole, but I don't know or care. I'm just saying we know that Charlie Turner talked about, I found God. I don't like hurting people anymore.
Rory McDonald.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Brown knocked Dalby's head off in fucking April, so like he's still here for it. And Brian Battle didn't beat him. Don't believe the hype. Jack Della Maddalena is the champ. The only really blemish loss he's got is that Luque loss in 2020. But hey, pandemic, weird time.
And that Nico Price loss. That's one.
The Nico Price loss is again, really insane. But he does have a win over Rocky. He knocked out Rocky Edwards.
Really?
Yeah, you want to? Yeah, it was a while ago. But...
Oh, his name is Rocky Edwards, the number one.
Yeah. Oh no, not Leon Rocky Edwards. Rocky the number Edgars. He's like, I didn't say I was number one. I'm just the number. I'm like number 46.
He was like, I really like Allen Iverson. You know how his nickname was like super ambiguous. The answer.
Randy Brown was on the podcast too, talking about how he found Jesus.
Then yeah, I guess they were both on there. Well, Randy Brown, more power to him. More power to him. I'm gonna see my way exit left.
Randy Brown on his win versus Dalby. Okay, we do need to see. I do need to check the timestamps of this. They don't have timestamps. Guys, go yell at them. Everybody who watches this fucking show yells at me every week for not having fucking timestamps. Why don't you guys go yell at them for not having timestamps?
And we don't have a multi-million-dollar corporation that is funding our podcast.
I thought you could go to like transcript. You know what I mean? Like, because then I could just use the transcript to jump to. You know what I mean? I thought you could see a transcript. Anyway, fuck it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go with Gutbon theme. I don't know though, because
Oh.
What?
No, we're good. We're good. He's the right kind of religion for fighting. He is a Muslim, and he is going to smash this guy, inshallah.
That is why every time Trump in office, we go through some crisis. Like
no, that's not the crisis. The crisis is going to be in about a week and a half when they do the fake alien invasion. When they say Atlas has landed, and boy, are you guys going to be scared? Halloween might be over, but it's Spookathon 2026. Fake aliens blowing up your house. Paint your roofs blue.
And when you look into it,
Operation Blue Beam, direct energy weapons, they're going to blast you.
and when you look into it,
I'm fighting for my life.
It's true. It's true.
Sad but true. Big if true. We'll see. Hey, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you look at recency bias here, Randy Brown beat Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby beat the shit out of Bonfim. It kind of makes you wonder. It kind of makes you think, can Randy Brown do this? And I'm going to say no. I'm going with Bonfim. I like taking a favorite on the last pick. I've always loved taking a favorite as the last pick of the card because it gives you the perfect opportunity to hedge. If all of your parlays go smoothly, you have an easy exit strategy right there so you can walk away with money regardless. I think here on out, I just blindly take the favorite unless I'm super, super compelled to do otherwise. Anytime Alex Pierre is an underdog, always. Rocky Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. Luke and I were right about that. Luis Pena. No, not Luis.
Strickland versus Adesanya.
Strickland versus Adesanya. Juliana Pena versus Amanda Ruiz. Amanda, what's her name?
Amanda
Lemos. Amanda
P as a slight underdog versus Adesanya.
Absolutely. You know, when I get a feeling like that, that's when I pull the trigger. Most of the time, I'm just blindly taking the favorite because it's an easy hedge out opportunity.
For show. Okay. No drinky, just fighty. So we like. Whereas, yeah. Okay. So
You got these Eastern.
I didn't pick. I'm going with Randy Brown.
Downtown Randy Brown.
Yeah, by knockout. He's gonna sleep this dude.
Wow.
Because guess what? He'd sleep Wonder Boy, and then after he knocks him out, give him Wonder Boy. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have that much confidence in it, but I will be picking Randy Brown. I'll ride it into the end. I'll see what happens. But he's only a slight underdog, you know? So I just don't like to pick like a huge main event underdog if like you're I don't know. He is 35.
He's old. He's not that good. That's like the thing. He's not all that good. He has losses to guys
Okay, Alex, here's my argument. He's way more experienced against a way higher level of competition than fucking Bonfim. Guy Bonfim's the best guy Bonfim's fought is fucking Wonder Boy, and he fought him to a split decision. Dalby, they have a common opponent in, and one of them got knocked out by Dalby, and one of them knocked out Dalby. So Randy Brown is the better fighter here. He's fought 2 or 3 champions. Jack Della Maddalena, Bilal Muhammad. He's fought like the who's who of the fucking sport. Brian Battle missed weight when they fought, and he still took him to a split decision, and he only lost because he was like getting held up against the fucking cage.
I get it. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
I'm not.
I just think Randy
Brown. And he beat your hero, Muslim Salikov, by knockout. Randy Brown did.
I know. I get it.
All right. Let's go through the full picks, top to bottom.
He also had a split decision win against Chaos Williams. You know what Homeboy did to Chaos Williams? He finished him second round. All right, but if you're rolling with me here,
let me get mine typed up. That way I can just copy and paste the ones we agree on, and then I'll fill in the ones we don't agree on after.
You should be doing this while I say it on the show.
I know, but this was a wacky and wild, slippery ride of a show. We didn't really get to do that.
Or put your own picks in before the show as well. And then you can copy and paste it haphazardly. We don't need to wait for you to type in something that you know.
I'm ready for you.
Okay. If you're rolling with me, you're going with Bonfim, Joseph Morales, Muslim Salikov, Chris Padilla, Ricky Simon, Curtis Leroy Duncan, Jamal Emmers, Moreno Good Silva, Josh
MLB or MBS.
MSNBC. Tisha Ron Bennington.
Wait. You go with Hockett?
I'm going with Hockett. And then give me DeMarcos. Because we don't say the D word on this show anymore.
Yeah, we definitely don't say the D word on the show. I'm going to start calling him Daniel. All right, well, here's what I got for you guys. First 3 fights of the night, we all agree on it. Daniel Marcos, Tisha Pennington, Josh Hockett. Bang, 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 double P certified. Then we skip 1 lady fight. We go over 4 in a row. Emmers, CLD, Simon, and Padilla. Bang, 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 bang. 4 picks in a row, double P certified. Then the next one we agree on is Joseph Morales. And that is it for the 8 double P certified picks this week. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for chatting.
The Two Agreeable Guys podcast. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Honest, brutal answer, Lukey. Who lasts the longest walk, you or Euro? Who lasts long in the longest walk? Who lasts the longest in the longest walk?
What's the longest walk?
Who lasts longer?
Okay.
Who lasts longer in the...
Oh, I think that's a movie, and I think they walk.
Oh, yes. Alex down. Wait, why Alex down? I thought he had a better show than me. And I also thought that I couldn't be lower in the stock ticker. I got completely my dick kicked up into my mouth and then pulled out through my mouth and shoved back in embarrassingly several times, and before being pushed back down and pooped out my butt. I got destroyed. I got absolutely destroyed last weekend. I mean, You know it's bad when I lost so much money, but don't even have a case because I lost it on fucking fights that were legit. I'm like, yeah, I lost. The fights that I bet on weren't fucking fixed at all. I just fucking got robbed. Well, I mean, I guess you could say Yanti D'Elia, but Steve Garcia. You know what I didn't know last week, Alex? I didn't know Steve Garcia was friends with Charlie Kirk. If I had known that, I would have fucking known that he was going to go in there and beat the shit out of Onama, who's not like a hard working like Charlie Kirk religious American. Like Steve Garcia was activated. He was fucking activated. He was like, I'm going to do this for Charlie.
Well, people thought that Themba Garimbo would be activated as well because he went on his press tour and was like, my kids are more important than Jeremiah Wells' kids.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I bet Jeremiah Wells by submission. So that was, and he almost had it a few times, didn't he? There. Yeah. Tough to watch.
It was
Tough
close.
to watch.
It was close.
We love you guys. I'll be more active in the Discord this Saturday for sure. Let's get in that Discord. Let's talk to each other if you want. And what a time that we're living through. News, updates, especially those involving refs and judges, I want in the Discord posted. So let me know if you guys hear anything. I'm keeping my ears to the ground, listening for hoofbeats and trying to track this case as much as I can. But we know nothing as of this moment, and we love you all. And we'll see you next Saturday. Track
this case as best I can, like you're a private investigator.
We all are. We all have skin in this game, and this is they've invaded our territory, like these aliens that are on their way, the fake aliens. So we need to defend our turf. We need to plant our boots in Arkansas soil and defend the land we love of this country. I'm moving to Arkansas with Bryce. All right. I love y'all. Thanks for the support.